Question 36. If consider the following statements. If the election of the President of India is declared void by the Supreme Court of India, all acts done by him or her in the performance of duties of his or her office of President before the date of decision becomes invalid. Second statement, election for the post of the President of India can be postponed on the grounds that some legislative assemblies have been dissolved and elections are yet to take place. When a bill is presented to the President of India, the Constitution prescribes time limits within which he or she has to declare his or her assent. So there are three statements given. And if you see, this is a concept question from polity, and most of this is coming from Lakshmikant itself, the points in the Lakshmikant itself. And if you see the statements, so the first statements, if you look at the statements, if you look at the first statement, if the election of the President of India is declared void by the Supreme Court of India, all acts done by him or her in the performance of duties of his or her office of President before the date of decision becomes invalid is the statement, which is false. If that was the case, it will lead to a lot of complexities, and as you know, there hasn't been an incident like that in India. But even if the president is impeached while he is in power, none of the actions before that impeachment becomes invalid. It stays valid. Only way to reverse it would be to bring new orders when the new president takes charge. Nothing gets invalidated automatically. So this statement is false. And second statement, if you see, election for the post of the President of India can be postponed on the ground that some legislative assembly have been dissolved. So if you see, I have picked up few new sources for this question. Let me just show you. First one is regarding the election of the process of election of India's president. So during the preparation phase only this happened. So there are few questions connected to election of president and president's power, etc. in this prelims. So that's why I put up this news. And if you see second news, Jammu Kashmir Assembly to miss presidential polls for the second time in history. So as you know, it is converted to UT, and then the legislative assembly is not yet formed. So since it is dissolved, they will not be participating. So there is some past history mentioned. There have been presidents of legislative assemblies of states not being part of the presidential poll on the account of the dissolution. The first such instance being of Gujarat in 1974. This is an important case where Supreme Court in 1974, when it was challenged, said dissolution of an assembly will not be a grounds for cancellation of or postponing of postponing of the election of will not be a ground for postponing president's election. So that is the reason why second statement becomes false. So I will just go back to the statement. It says election for the post of the President of India can be postponed on the ground that some legislative assemblies. That is wrong, because Supreme Court in an order in 1974 said it cannot be a ground. So that is the reason second statement is false. So again, if you check the next option, it says when a bill is presented to the President of India, the Constitution prescribes time limits within which he or she has to declare his or her assent. That is also false. You will learn about pocket veto, and President can indefinitely hold his assent and keep that's what pocket veto is. So that can be done. So it is what is pocket veto, and how, whether there has been any instance of president using pocket veto in India. All that is discussed in detail in Lakshmikant. You can refer that book and learn it in detail. So that's question 36. I'll move on to the next question.